Morning, everyone, and welcome to Friday, 10 a.m. Gentle Yoga. Happy Friday, everyone. It's going to be a wonderful, beautiful weekend, as we were just discussing on the Zoom. Coming to you live from Urban Yoga Studio, also live on Zoom at urbanyoga.org. So please continue to donate there. Check out all the Zoom classes. Also doing park classes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I believe. Not at Ruth Hardy Park. We are near the convention center. So check that out, get outside. So I'm Tom. I'm doing a lot of subbing over the next few months, and we have a lovely assistant here who's also my wife, Lindsay. I had a little elbow injury doing some stuff the other day, so I don't want to push it too much. So Lindsay will demo for us, which is great. And we'll really focus today on just getting a great alignment and making some adjustments and using our props. Props make perfect in yoga. There's really no perfect yoga pose because everybody's body is different, but props really do help you get those benefits from your practice. So we're going to use some blocks today, blanket as well. So let's just get started. We'll begin in easy seat Sukhasana. So go ahead and grab your blanket. Just give it a once over fold and go ahead and place it right underneath the hips, the legs coming off of it. So you're just getting that tilt in the pelvis, helps get that spine nice and long. And you can also go ahead and use blocks. I'm just going to kind of bounce around in cue today. Blocks under the knees are super, super helpful, especially as we're just easing in here and getting started. So having that wonderful support, let's go ahead and elongate the spine. Go ahead and just build a little prana, a little bit of heat, a little bit of energy here in the hands. So rub those palms together. Sit up nice and tall. And then we'll go ahead and cup the hands over the eyes, helping the gaze draw the gaze inward, and just beginning to tune in and connect with the breath here. So begin to lengthen your inhalation and your exhalation. Begin to notice and observe the ribs expanding alongside the body. You can keep the eyes closed. Go ahead and place the hands down on the knees. And just begin to notice the sensation of rooting down through the hips as you reach the crown of the head up towards the sky. So that rooting and reaching, those two opposite sensations, and then the breath uniting the two. So we begin to shift consciousness from being the doer to being the observer in our practice, to beginning to cultivate that self-care and compassion for the self. And just notice maybe what's coming up for you, physical sensations, maybe areas that are tight or have tension. And soften the shoulders here, soften the brow, the jaw. Any of those spots you might be holding a little excess tension, you need to let go. You begin to observe any emotions that may be coming up for you, maybe some things that maybe need tending to. What can you let go of, at least maybe for the next hour? Continue with the breath. Fill the entire torso. Exhale, soften. I'd like to remind you that you are the guru. I'm here to guide you through your practice, but just pay careful attention, modify as needed, back off of any pinching or areas that are coming up for you in the poses. Just soften and listen to your body. A few more breaths here in the seated position. And if the eyes are closed, you can softly blink them open. Keep the gaze soft. And we'll just begin here with warming up the wrist here. So again, Lindsay's going to demo everything. I'm going to do what I can, and I'll just back off as I need to here. So some nice circles here with the wrist. Spread the fingers nice and wide. And we'll take that in the other direction. And then go ahead and flick the fingers as if you're like flicking water off of them, getting them nice and active. We're usually curling the wrists in and texting and working on the computer. So we're just wringing that out. Let's go ahead and take it over to the side. And the other side. Up to the sky. And down to the earth. Right. Go ahead and bring the forearms together here. Bring the palms and interlace fingers, and we'll just begin to circle the wrists in a figure eight. Hearing a little bit of pops and crackles in there.
That's me.
It's all good stuff. Easy and gentle. And then take it the other direction. It's always a little funky at first. And we'll go ahead and release here. So go ahead and grab the outer edges of the knees, and we'll just begin to stir the torso around the center of the body. So leading with the crown of the head, dipping down and through the shoulders a little bit as needed, so stirring back, forward, feeling all those contact points around and through the pelvis. Lifting and leading with the crown of the head. And we'll pause and take that to the other direction. And we'll come back to neutral spine, sit up nice and tall, and then we'll just work through some seated cat and cow here. So we'll go ahead and lift the heart, broaden across the clavicles, lift the gaze up, open the throat, deep breath in. And then as we exhale, we'll sit back, round the spine, spread those shoulder blades apart, and just move with the breath, rocking forward, lifting, reaching, rooting down, exhale, sit back, scoop out the belly, and just move with your breath here, back and forth. Waking up the spine. And then we'll inhale those arms up, overhead, lift up, look up, rotate the pinkies inward, and then just a little belly modification here. Anytime we put the arms up, the belly likes to sort of pop open like a clamshell. So zip those lower ribs down and plug them in towards the hip sockets. And then exhale, we're going to forward fold. So hinge at the hips to whatever degree is comfortable for you here. And then you can go ahead and grab your blocks here. Just sink in here for a moment so you can have the block right underneath the head. You can have that block at any degree that's comfortable for you. Spread the fingers nice and wide. And you'll feel that stretch on the outer edges of the hips there. And we'll just take a few breaths as we melt and surrender. We'll focus also on just some conscious transitions today. So as we're in the poses and moving to the next one, just move with consciousness. I like to think of stirring the air, or as you're almost like moving through water. Engage the belly through most of your poses today, or all of your poses today. Really keeps everything zipped up and drawn into the center line. Fabulous. We begin to walk the hands backwards. We'll go ahead and switch the cross of the legs here. So whatever leg you have on top, switch it over to the other. And we'll begin to just warm up the shoulders here. So go ahead and extend the palms out, flip them up to the sky, and then inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring the tops of the fingers in and just touch the shoulders here. So we're going to work through this a few times. So inhaling and opening. Exhale and bring it in. Checking with that belly. Inhale and open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And then inhale here, and then as we exhale, we're going to bring the elbows together. Inhaling and opening. Exhale, close. And just work through that at your own pace and breath. A few more times. One more time, open. Exhale, close. and then bring the elbows together, and then we'll inhale the fingertips forward. And move with the breath. Inhale and exhale. So nice opening here for the shoulders, getting the arms warmed up. This is definitely something I'm not doing with my elbow. And go ahead, and then we'll open the elbows back up, and then just make some nice big circles here. So working through the scapula, really rolling the shoulders up, back, and down, broadening through the chest. And we'll take that the other direction. Reverse. Flapping your wings here. Fabulous. So let's inhale the arms back up, and we're going to fold forward here on the other with the other leg on top. So just begin to walk forward to whatever degree is comfortable. You're feeling on the outer edge of that hip, depending upon which leg you have on top. So again, if you're feeling any pinching, discomfort, that's where you definitely back off and use the support of your props. One more deep breath in, breathe into the center of the back, and let it go. And then we'll begin to walk fingertips back. So go ahead and release the legs here. We'll bring the feet out to the edges of the mat. Roll the shoulders back so you have a nice support, pressing the fingertips forward. And then just let the knees gently rock side to side. So rolling to the outer edges of the hip here. And then when we fall over to the right side, we'll begin to just take a gentle twist. So begin to walk your fingertips around, looking over that right shoulder. Trying to sit up nice and tall. Long spine here. And then we'll slowly release back to center. Walk yourself around. Go let the knees fall to the other side. And gently walk yourself into that twist on the other side. Breathe into the hips. Breathe into the kidneys. And as you're exhaling, you can twist a little bit deeper. As you're inhaling, you can slowly back off just a little bit here. Take one more breath in this twist. Exhale it out, and then slowly work yourself back around. All right, so we'll come into tabletop position. You can use your blanket here as a little bit of a padding for the knees. And then just getting our alignment. We're lining up those hips directly over the knees, lining up those shoulders directly over the wrist. And we'll work through some, that's good, tap the feet, begin to wake them up here. And we'll just do some wrist stretches here. So we'll go ahead and invert one at a time. And to whatever degree you want to press down, that's where you're going to feel the stretch. So you're pressing down through the heel of the hand. You should be feeling that stretch up through the forearm. So if it's too much already here, you can go ahead and back off. If this is a little bit too much for you, you can also just do this seated as you use the other hand to just have a little flexion in that wrist and feeling that stretch up through the forearm. So go ahead and work through both sides a little bit on each one. And then we'll come back to center, and then we'll go ahead and flip the palm over, so the top of the hand, and then same thing, as you gently lower the arm down, that's how much you're going to feel that stretch now in the top of that forearm. You can flex the fingers, making fist and open. Really important to get these wrists stretched out through our practice. Sometimes we skip that, and it's great as we get into down dog and some other poses. So make sure you're doing both sides. And then as we're still here, go ahead and bring the fingertips together. So bring the knuckles together and then drop the tops of the hands down so the fingers are pointed up. This might be enough for you as you sort of draw the elbows up. You're getting that stretch on the tops of the forearms here. And then you can drop down onto the forearms and then bring back up. That's a little tender on the elbow here. That's why I have Lindsay here demoing. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and come back to that tabletop position, and we'll go into some cat and cow. So just make sure your alignment is set up as we talked about, the hips over the knees and shoulders over the wrists. And then we'll go ahead and drop that belly and then broaden through the clavicles. Make sure those shoulders aren't up around the ears. Tailbone is up to the sky. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, push the floor away. And really spread those shoulder blades apart so there's no crease in the back. And then move with the breath. Lifting up, reaching up. And then push the floor away. Bring those hips forward. And then pull your belly button up and back towards the spine as you're working through that. So belly's active here and not just sort of hanging out. And just move with the breath. If you want to add in other movements, maybe looking over left and right shoulder, working hips over to the side. Perfect. And we'll come back to center. And then go ahead and walk your hands back, and we're going to come up to the knees here. So we're going to come into a cross gate pose. So it's great to have that padding for the knees. And we'll go ahead and start with the right foot out to the edge. So you're going to bring that leg out nice and straight, and you want your toes pointed forward as much as possible. So it's, not going to always be perfect. It might be a little too much on that ankle, but we're going to go ahead, set that foundation up, nice straight leg, and then go ahead and bring the hands up to the hips. You can have a block here on the inside of that leg if you like, for a little added support. And we're going to go ahead and bring that right hand down, and then take that left arm and bring it up and over. So we're getting a nice stretch on the side body here. Breathe into that left side rib cage. We're also getting a nice stretch here on that hamstring. Check in with that foot. Keep that active. And then also press down through the top of that back foot on the left side. And just breathe there. One more breath. And then slowly come up. Go ahead and bring the knee in, and we'll switch it over to the other side. This side I can probably do. So extend that left foot out. Toes pointed forward as much as possible. And again, block to the inside of that thigh or shin. And you can go ahead and press down. So inhale, lift up and over. Look up under that left armpit a little bit if you can. Rolling that shoulder back. And then breathe into that side of the rib cage here. One more breath. Yeah, some circles with the wrists. And then gently begin to back out. So go ahead and bring the knee back in. Bring the torso up. And then we'll just take a child pose here. So go ahead and keep that blanket there. And another great prop here is using another blanket, if especially your hips are tight, so you can let the knees go wide. If the hips are tight, it's great to have another rolled blanket back behind on top of the ankles. It gives you great support here. So that's not too much on the hips. You can also have a block underneath the chest. Child's pose was something when I first started yoga. It's like, oh, this is supposed to be relaxing. I was like, this is not fun. But the props really help bring the earth up towards you. So it's really nice that you're not struggling in some of these surrendering poses. So Let's make this an active child's pose. The fingers nice and wide. Breathe into the back side of the body. We're always breathing those shallow breaths just into the top of the chest. So really make that breath work down into the back of the body, down near the kidneys, massaging those internal organs, rejuvenating with fresh oxygen and blood. Take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, let it all go. And then slowly we'll come out of this and we'll set up to begin to come into our downward facing dog. So you can remove that blanket from behind you if you have it. And we'll go ahead and tuck the toes, walk the hands out, and then slowly press up and back. And we'll begin to walk our dog here, so just bending the knees. Another great prop here for the blanket. If you have tight hamstrings, you can put this blanket right underneath the heels. So if you have a hard time getting your heels down, it's another great supporting prop here in downward dog. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Make sure you're not taking too much weight into the wrists. So you want all that weight distributed across the fingers and then really into that padding in between the pointer and thumb. Nice long spine here. Draw the gaze down and in, belly button up and in. And then you want to roll and wrap those triceps in towards up and around the ears. So you're zipping all that energy up and in. And we'll just be here for a few breaths. So getting the benefits of an inversion here. Stretching hamstrings. Working through the hips. Arms are active, belly's active. And then very, very slowly just begin to walk the toes forward toward the hands. Stretching through those hammies as we go. And then here, just get into a forward fold. So go ahead, hinging at the hips. You can bend the knees if it's a little too much. Push the thighs back. Let the head be heavy here. You can grab for the elbows. Sway side to side. Shake the head yes and no. And then we'll go into Ardha Uttanasana. So go ahead. Draw the energy up through the feet, through the ankles. Back nice and straight here. Reach forward with the crown of the head. Push the hips back. And then take a deep breath in. Exhale back to forward fold. Let it all go. And let's do that one more time. Draw that energy up through the legs, through the calves. Reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, let it go one more time. We'll go ahead and bring the hands up towards the hips. Lift with the torso, not the head. Take it all the way up. And then we'll inhale the arms up overhead. And then draw the palms together. And bring the thumbs to the sternum. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And then go ahead and extend the fingertips out. So Tadasana, mountain pose. So spread the toes nice and wide. You can lift all 10 toes. Let them spread out and then place them down one at a time. So shift your weight back and forth just from the ball of the feet. I kind of like to do a little circle here. Back into the heels. Feeling all four corners of the feet being active. Having contact. And then root down through the heels. Extend those fingertips out. Pull the kneecaps up and in. The belly's active, so those outer ribs, knit them down and in. And then lift that crown of the head up. Broaden across the shoulder blades here. And then we'll inhale the arms up. Look up, lift up. Check in with those ribs that are popping up. Knit them back down. Rotate those pinkies in towards each other. So you're drawing all that energy to the center line. And then exhale, swan dive all the way down. So here we'll set up for a low lunge. So we'll keep the right leg forward. We'll step the left back, so you can have that blanket again for a little padding on the knee. I can set you up. And then grab your blocks. And just begin to build that foundation. So make sure that knee is nice and lined up over that ankle. You can have those blocks to the low setting or the high setting. So the whole purpose of the props are really bringing the floor and the earth up to you, right? So we can have that grounding, having that firm foundation. So then we can begin the other sensation of reaching up. Thank you. So roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Broaden through the clavicles here. And then go ahead, bring the arms up or the hands up to the knee. Press into that knee, build that foundation, and then inhale those arms up overhead. Roll those fingertips in slightly. Check in with that knee, the front knee, and make sure it's not tracking out to the side. Make sure it's tracking in to the center line of the body. One more breath here. Everybody looks great. And then exhale. We'll bring the palms down, and we'll go ahead and straighten that front leg. And you can bring your blocks back if you have them. And so we're just going to work through a little hamstring stretch here. So option with that back foot to curl the toe under, give a little bit more support. And then you want to flex that front foot, protects the knee. You can also think of it as bringing your front toes towards that knee. And then reach with the crown of the head and fold forward. A few more breaths here. And we'll go ahead, bend that front knee, bring it back, step it forward. So bring that back knee up, step forward. All right. And then we'll go ahead and remove our blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. And then inhale brings you all the way up. Palms to heart center, and we'll take that to the other side. So inhale all the way up. Exhale, swan dive all the way back down. Hinge the hips, forward fold. And now we'll step left foot back, or right foot back. Sorry, left foot forward. All right, so build that foundation again. Use your props, use your blocks here. Roll the shoulders up and back. Inhale the arms up. Internal rotation of the pinkies and triceps. And then exhale, we'll take it down and we'll stretch that hamstring on the other side. So flex the toes up. Use your blocks here as well. Reach forward with the crown of the head and exhale, fold forward. Let's take one more breath here. And slowly come out. Go ahead and bend that front knee. Pop the back knee up. Tuck the back toes, and we'll step forward one more time. And we'll work through halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Push those hips back, reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, hinge and fold. And then bring the hands up to the hips. Again, lift with the torso. And the head comes up last. Very good. Let's just kind of shake it all out here. All right, everybody doing okay? All right, thumbs up. Inhale, let's take the arms out nice and wide. puff the chest here. Exhale, we'll cross the elbows over each other. Give yourself a nice big hug. Walk those fingertips around the back to whatever degree feels good for you. Squeeze it all in. You can drop your chin to the chest. Have a little bit more space here. Then we'll inhale, open again. Look up, lift up, push those hips forward. Pull the belly button in. And take that cross the other way. So other elbow on top. Drop it in. And inhale, open again. And we'll go ahead and let that go. All right, we'll just do a simple balance here. Nothing too difficult. So you can be near a wall as well if it's helpful for you. But we're just going to do a quick little balance and twist here. So again, you can have a chair next to you. You can be right at the wall with the other hand for a little bit of support. So we'll go ahead and shift the weight into the right foot. And we'll peel the left ankle up. And we'll just draw that knee up and in here. So again, have a wall, a cabinet, something in your house just for a little added support. But we're really focusing on that center line of the body. So the core that we were talking about, zip those lower ribs down and in. Try not to let that thigh open up and track too much outwards. Palms can be a heart center for a little bit of stability here and working that center line of the body. So you can stay here. If you're at the wall, that's cool too. Inhale the arms up overhead. And then we're just going to take a gentle twist. So we're going to inhale here and then exhale. Take that right arm over that left knee. And then you can take that backhand around the sacrum. So you're using that for a little added twist and leverage here. If you fall out of it, no worries. If that's too much, you can also just put the leg down and work through the twist. So whatever degree works for you. You can also have that foot up on a block, kind of getting the same benefit there. Let's take one more deep breath in that twist, and then slowly unwind. Put that leg down. We'll just shake it out. And we'll take that to the other side. All right, so we'll root down into the left foot and peel the right ankle up, or heel up, and then draw that leg up and in. Really focused on the core here, so not just the stomach when we think of the core, but the back of the body engaging. Pull the belly button in towards the back of the spine. Inhale the arms up overhead. And then exhale, take that gentle twist. So take that left arm to the outer edge of that knee. The other arm is using for stability here. Shoulders gently turning. Don't forget to breathe and smile. One more breath, and we'll go ahead and release. Drop that down, shake it all out. Okay, so let's come into a wide leg stance here. Grab your blocks and just place them right in front of you. And we'll go ahead and extend the feet out, so wider than distance apart, wider than shoulders. And then we'll go ahead and take the toes and slightly turn them out here. So inhale the arms up overhead, check in with that belly, draw the belly button in towards the spine, lift up, look up, and then exhale, hinge at those hips. Swan dive all the way down. Let the head be heavy here. So we're getting our forward fold, also working those hamstrings, so press those thighs back. If it's a little too much on the hamstrings, you can bend the legs or bend the knees and just have a little softness here. Getting that benefit of the inversion. You can come down to forearms. You can also have a block stacked up underneath the head if that's helpful to you for support. On the forehead. Breathe in between those shoulder blades here. And gently walk the fingertips back in. Go ahead and bring the hands back to the hips. And then again, lift with the torso, not the head. Your head weighs like 10 pounds, so that can really do some damage on the neck. So use your core, use your torso. Lift up, extend the fingertips out. Lift up, look up, press the hips forward. And then exhale, we're going to come down one more time, and we're going to take a gentle twist here. So really recommend a block here for that twist. You can have that right hand right underneath your face. And then we'll go ahead and inhale, twist, open, stack those shoulders up. So nice, long line, stacking shoulders as much as possible. Breathe into that left side of the body. Bend the knees if it's a little too much on the hamstrings. One more deep breath in. And exhale, we'll switch sides. Go ahead and rotate back down. Place that left hand underneath the face. Inhale and twist and open. You can make some circles here with that top hand. And we'll gently come back to center. And we'll go ahead and wiggle the feet, shift them in, and we'll go ahead. We're going to come into a Bolasana pose. So however is easiest for you to come into Bolasana. If you can drop right down into the squat, great. If you need to come down to the knees first, go ahead and grab your blocks. Really, really nice support here. As we get into Bolasana, there'll be a lot on the hips as a hip opener. So go ahead and plug in here, and then roll the shoulders up and back. Go ahead and bring those elbows to the insides of the knees. Lift the heart, lift the head. Take a few breaths here. And you can go ahead and come out of that. So go ahead and plant the hands down. Bring the hips back and up. Shimmy the feet in towards each other. And from here, we'll go ahead and have a seat. So go ahead and drop down to your mat. Grab your blanket, and we'll work through some forward folds here. So we'll sit back up on the edge of the blanket. That's perfect. We'll come into the Tadasana, which is staff pose. So go ahead and bring the legs out nice and long in front of you. We really want to try to get in front of those sit bones, right? So the pointy bones at the base of the pelvis, lifting up on that blanket really gives us that lift, so we're going to be able to hinge forward a little bit more. If we're curled back and we're sitting back and we have that C-shaped spine, it's really hard to reach forward. So sit up nice and tall, get in front of those sit bones, flex the feet, so point the toes back towards the knees, push through the heels, and push down to the tops of the thighs. All right, set up nice and firm, nice foundation here. We'll inhale those arms up. Exhale, lead with the crown of the head, reach forward, and reach for whatever you can get here. The strap is also great. Wrap around the front of the feet. Helps bring those toes towards you. And then keep those feet nice and active. Protects the knee. Push down through the backs of the thighs. Getting that nice long legs, long spine. And breathe into the center of the back. Let's take one more deep breath here. let it go. And then gently walk the hands back. And we'll go ahead and get into Janu Shavasana. So we'll bring the left foot in, right foot. What are we doing here? Whatever foot, one foot, we'll do the other in a minute. All right, so bring that heel into the inside of the thigh. Again, sit up nice and tall in that blanket. Keep that front foot flexed, toes back towards the knee. And then we're going to inhale, lift up, look up, reach, and exhale, hinge forward, and make sure our chest is lined up directly over that leg. So a little twist, and then dropping down. So you're getting a nice hamstring stretch here. Also a little bit of a twist. If you want a little bit more, you can reach for the outer edge of that foot. Take a little bit more of a twist, use that as leverage. Look back over that shoulder. And let's take one more breath here. And release. Go ahead and walk fingertips back in. So we're going to take a gentle twist here. So go ahead and help that knee up. Options here. We can keep that foot to the inside of that thigh. You can also take that leg up and over if you like. The foot can be straight, or if you want a little less on that hamstring, you can bring that heel back in towards the back loop. So again, great lift here with the blanket and the hips. Go ahead and stack it up nice and tall. So you got the heart over the hips, the head over the heart. And then we're going to inhale, lift up. And then we're going to twist from the base of the spine. So as we exhale, we'll wrap that right arm around, squeeze it in, and then take that backhand, really press down through the heel of that hand to give yourself a nice extension and a nice long spine. This is great to also do against a wall or having a partner with you, maybe not during COVID. And then let the breath massage those internal organs, bringing out the old, bringing in the new. Let's take one more breath here and gently release that. So bring those legs back out nice and long. Just give them a little bit of a shake here. And we'll take that to the other side. So go ahead and switch legs. Bring that heel to the inside of the thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Flex that foot. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge forward. Reach for that foot, reach for that strap. And again, make sure you rotate the body, lining up your sternum right over that leg. This helps you get a little bit deeper. Keep that front foot active. Take one more deep breath in. Let it go. And we'll walk fingertips back. And we'll take that twist. So whatever you did on the other side, with that leg, again, can be on the inside. You can draw it over the thigh. You can bring that other heel back in. Lift up nice and tall. Reach with the crown of the head. Inhale. And exhale, take that twist. Press into that palm of the back. Sit nice and tall. Lift up. Backing off slightly as you inhale, squeezing in a little deeper on the exhale. All right, let's go ahead and unwind there. Take the legs back long. Go ahead and take a wide leg stance here. So legs will go wide. You kind of just go at a little bit of an angle. Again, on that edge of the blanket is going to give you some little extra lift here. Push through the heels. Push the thighs down. And again, draw those toes back towards the knees so these feet are active. And we're going to inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge at the hips to whatever degree. So you might just be up nice and tall. You can walk the fingertips forward. You can use your block as Lindsay's doing now for the head. A little support. This is a pretty intense hamstring stretch. Again, keep those feet active so that it protects the knee. I like to kind of shift a little side to side. Bend the knee slightly if it's a little too intense for you. And then gently walk the fingertips back. All right, we'll go ahead and draw the left foot back in. And then grab one of your blocks here and put it right on the inside, either of the calf or the shin, or on the inside of the thigh. You can also have two blocks if you like. And we're just going to work through some side body here. So I'm going to drop that right forearm down. You can have that support. And then again, flex through that foot on the outer foot. And then we're going to inhale the arm. You can take it up on the inside and over first. And then we're just going to reach over towards that extended leg and then look up underneath. So it's great to have that forearm on the inside of that thigh because you can use that just to give a little bit more leverage and open those shoulders up. So you're working through that side body, getting a nice stretch here, flexing that foot, and you're getting that hamstring stretch as well. Some people can reach over and grab that toe. Might not be happening today. But it's great just to have that little lift in that forearm, just to give it a little bit more support. It helps you get a little bit deeper for leverage. All right, let's come up and out of that nice and easy. We'll switch sides. And again, set yourself up with your props, with your alignment. Lock to the inside of that thigh, knee, just depending upon the length of your body and where you are. Push through that heel, draw those toes back towards you. Sometimes it's hard to get that shoulder up and around the back because it catches on that hinge. So if you have a hard time with that, try taking it in front of the body and then up and over. It's a little bit easier. All of a sudden have a little bit more of an opening here. And then you can roll that shoulder back. Perfect. Check in with the belly here. Is it going soft? We're pulling that belly button to the back of the spine. We always say, when we engage the core, sometimes we just sort of seize up and start holding our breath. So keep the breath flowing. What's rooting, what's reaching, and that belly active. All right, let's take one more deep breath in here. come up and out. And let's go ahead and just bring the extended leg out, or that's out, bring it in. So we'll bring heels together. So Bolasana here. So you can have the heels pulled in to whatever degree is comfortable for the hips. You can also have blocks here on the outer edges, supporting the knees, giving those hips a little bit of a break. Roll the shoulders up and back. So you create space, broaden through the clavicles here. Grab for the shins, grab for the ankles, grab for the toes. Lift up, look up. And as we exhale, you get to walk fingertips forward, or you can continue to hold on to those toes. Let the elbows come out to the sides. So you're getting a nice stretch here on the inner thighs, the hips. Again, those blocks are great. Give that support and bringing the ground up towards you. Take one more deep breath down into the hips, into the pelvis, and let it all go. Walk the fingertips back. And we'll go ahead and come down onto the back. So we'll keep your block close by. We'll set up here for some supported bridge pose. So you can have that blanket off to the side. You can also have that, so you have a little bit of padding on the hips, whatever feels good. And then just work your way down your back. Spread the shoulder blades. Forearms alongside the body here. And then some options here with the blocks. You can actually, if you want to work a little bit more on the inside of the thighs, you can have the block in between the thighs, which is great. So you're keeping those thighs squeezed together in bridge. So we'll inhale here, we'll lift the hips up, squeeze the block if you have the block here. Check in with that belly, make sure the clamshell is not opening up, or the car hood, as we call it. Press firmly into the ground, and you can wiggle those arms underneath the shoulder blades. Interlace, that's in your practice. Press those hips up. Don't forget to breathe. And exhale, let's lower down nice and slow. Let the shoulders come out from underneath you if they're there. You can remove that block. And then this time, we'll do the same thing. If you want to try something a little bit different with your prop, you can use the block as a supported bridge. So press down through the heels, lift those hips up, and you can have that block to whatever degree is comfortable for you. So on the lowest setting here, or you can take it up to a higher setting. You can also have a blanket over the block. Drawing those ankles back towards the glutes. And then again, keep those thighs sort of squeezed in. If you don't have a block, squeeze the thighs in so you have that energy drawn to the center line of the body as you lift those hips up. Wonderful. Take one more breath here. And we'll go ahead and remove the block if you have it. Lower those hips down. We'll bring the heels to the outer edges of the mat. And then just gently windshield wiper the knees side to side. Taking gentle twists. Just letting the knees fall over. And then let them fall to one side, whatever side you're on, it's fine. If you want a little bit more added, you can take that ankle, cross it over the knee, and that gives you a little bit more stretch there. You want to make sure those shoulders are down on the mat, arms are stretched out to a T or to cactus. More important to have those shoulders down than to try to get that leg all the way across. And we'll go ahead and release. Let's take that to the other side. So just let those legs fall over to the other side. Let that ankle come across the knee for a little added weight, drawing it down. Keep those shoulder blades down. And then depending on which side you're on, if the knees are over to the left, you can look over your right shoulder for a little bit more added twist. Let's take one more deep breath in here. Let it go. And we'll go ahead and unwind. And then just squeeze the knees in towards the chest here. Thighs in towards the chest. Wrap the arms around. Give yourself a little gentle rock side to side. Massage the lower back and sacrum. You can make some circles with the knees, sort of stirring them out in a circular direction. And let's take one Bolasana, happy baby here. So go ahead and let the knees go wide. Reach for the outer edges of the feet or the toes. And then you're drawing those knees down towards the armpits. So let the elbows go wide. Little rock side to side. Got to do a happy baby on a Friday, right? All right, let's set ourselves up for Shavasana. So go ahead and let the legs go long. And you want those ankles just to open up. Let the hips open up. Extend the fingertips out, up to the sky, alongside the body. And let's just take the next few moments here to enjoy the benefits of our practice before we get back into our outside world and busy day. Let's just remain in this moment, be present, and just check in with the self, back to that observer. Is there any last pockets of tension you might be holding on to in the brow, the jaw? Let the belly be soft, let the bones be heavy. And just be here for a few moments. Allow me to call you back when it's time. Begin to just deepen the breath a little bit and welcome some sensation back into the body. Wiggling fingers and toes. Flexing the feet. Raise the eyebrows, moisten the lips. And then let's take one full body stretch so you can bring ankles together. Lift those arms back and up overhead. Full body stretch. Exhale, bring those knees in towards the chest and thighs in. And then go ahead and wrap around the knees or shins there. Give yourself one last squeeze, one little last rock side to side. And then go ahead and make yourself up to a comfortable seat. If you want to pause on one side in embryo pose, take a breath and enjoy that last final moment of peace. Go ahead and push yourself up. Bring the head up last. And just, again, begin where we ended in that nice Sukhasana. So stack up the bones, heart over the hips, head over the heart. Roll those shoulders back, down. Broaden through the clavicles. So drop those shoulders away from the ears. Lift that crown of the head up to the sky. Take one more body scan here. Physical, emotional, spiritual. Take that deep breath in. Elongate the spine. Reaching up to the crown of the head. Rooting down to the hips. And the breath uniting those two sensations. Let's inhale those arms up overhead. Reach up to the sky. Lift up, look up. You draw all that wonderful energy back down into the heart space. Give yourself a little smile. Taking care of yourself today. Self-care is so important, especially during these trying times. Environment, politics, no matter which side you're on. It's just very, very important to have that self-care and compassion for the self. Thank you, everyone, for taking some time for yourself. Thank you for allowing me to guide you today. Thank you to my wonderful assistant, Lindsay, and namaste to you all. Everybody have a wonderful Friday today. Don't forget to donate in the virtual tip jar on urbanyoga.org. Follow us for Zoom classes. I know Kristen is still selling some props. She's doing a little bit of a fire sale. I think $15 for like blocks and blankets. So highly recommend that. She said she'd be happy to bring them out and meet people at the park at classes. So make sure you do that. Get your props, get your support. Donate online, and we'll see you again. I'll be subbing various classes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody on Zoom. To Will and Melissa. Thank you, everybody. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Take care.